What is up, my nerd familia, and welcome to Games AMAZE, the podcast where we dive deep into the world of board games, video games, and a little bit of pop culture. I'm your host, Vic, and I would like to be the first to welcome you here to our little corner of nerdom. Whether you are a diehard anime fan, a manga reader, a film buff, to a casual, intermediate, cozy board gamer, to an aspiring esports star in the video game world, or to everything in between, this podcast is for you. We would love to engage with you guys, share some stories within the nerd familia, so come join us. If anything that we've said resonates with you, hey, join our wacky adventures here at Games AMAZE. We would love to have you here. So, with all that being said, pull up a chair, grab some dice, y acompáñame a jugar. And we are back. And this time we're live in front of a live audience, actually. We can say what the live audience
First
right there.
ever live
We got
audience.
Michaela behind the scenes right there. But guys, welcome back to another episode of Games AMAZE. I'm very excited. We're doing you guys are actually our first live in person of the year.
Wow.
What?
It's
Okay,
May.
never mind. Sorry. I did one in the car with Raul when we did another Let's Talk About It episode.
But this is a full
in
set.
Vegas. So now we're back home. And it's not just me this time. Now I have some guests here with us. We got Sierra and Maralisa.
Yay.
Thank you so much for joining us here. No strangers to the podcast. They've been on the podcast before. We've had fun time with them. And we're ready to do another Let's Talk About It episode here. I'm very excited to talk some Project Hail Mary. Yes.
Yeah,
No, oh.
Rocky just
Rocky just blew up. She just fell.
He did not make it a full
Oh.
minute.
Rocky is broken. Oh my gosh.
Oh man, this is literally what happened.
Well, this is what happened,
I
Raul.
knew this would happen.
Kind of like in the movie, he broke.
Well, we
Yeah.
had Rocky
That's,
for 2 seconds.
Well, it lasted. So we have a Rocky-ish.
Just know he's there. He's in my lap, and I will super glue him again later.
There you go.
He's
Exactly.
good.
So he'll make an appearance again. Don't worry about that. But I'm very excited. To talk Project Hail Mary here. We're gonna spoilers ahead, guys. For those who have
Many
not seen the
spoilers.
movie or read the book, we're gonna be diving into the book and the movies, giving our thoughts, giving what we like, what we didn't like, and also reviewing some tacos here. Let's talk about it. Where we talk about tacos and different subjects and stuff like that. Last time we did a talk. Let's talk about it. We did Dice Tower West. I went with Raul. We talked about Dice Tower West, our first con that we've gone in a while in Vegas. We're in Vegas. I
Oh,
think.
nice, nice.
So we're in your neighborhood, Maralisa. So we were there. We were at the Westgate. So we did that. It was fun. We rated some tacos. We had tacos al gordo.
Okay.
Which
I
were
think I've heard of
delicious.
it.
They were delicious. They were really good. They were delicious. And we got to talk about them and talk about Dice Tower. So today we had tacos La Autentica. Check it out here. I think they're North Hollywood, I believe. I might have to look it up, but I think it's North Hollywood area. But we had some good, they're a taco truck. I've had it before, guys, so, I can't really give a full review on there, but Sierra and Maralisa haven't. And so we're going to talk about some tacos, and then we're going to mix and match there. But we're going to be talking about tacos and some Project Hail Mary, guys. So thank you again for if this is your first time listening, welcome into the nerd familia here at Games AMAZE. If you're a returning, nerd familia member, welcome back here to another episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm very excited. We're just going to dive into it because I think we have a lot of ground to cover, especially with the book and the movie here. But before we get into it, let's talk about some tacos here first. Let's get our first impressions here.
The most important thing.
Yes, right. So, Tacos La Autentica, food truck here in North Hollywood. Let's give overall thought. What's overall? What's one word that comes to mind when you had these tacos? What do you think?
Yum.
Yeah.
Here, let me get my notes.
There you go.
Wrote my notes
She wrote
They're
notes. She wrote notes down. Yeah.
Great tacos.
Okay.
I had told Vic I like street tacos more than just like going to a Mexican restaurant. It just like hits different. I don't know.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Definitely.
But they were great. So much flavor. Love the ones with the cheese on. I think if I only had one note, it would be just more cheese.
More cheese.
Load 'em
Yeah.
up with cheese.
Okay.
But they were all great. The salsas were great. Love a little spice.
Okay. All right.
Big
Marlisa,
fan.
what do you?
So here's my thing. Street tacos are normally not really my jam. There's something
Really?
unless they're the crunchy ones, which we did have the crunchy
Okay.
the crunchy ones. I'm not a huge fan of corn tortillas.
Okay. Yes.
I prefer flour tortillas,
Okay.
but these ones were very good. Like it's not that I'm like I hate street tacos. I
Yeah.
like them,
Right.
but these ones were really good.
Okay.
The carne asada were the best,
Yeah.
but we'll get into that.
Okay,
in a second.
okay, for sure, definitely. Okay, so yeah, they're delicious tacos. I enjoyed them a lot so much. Their birria are really good. I should have ordered again. My little gripe would be when we got the plato mixo. That's what it's called, where you get like a sample of all the like their types of tacos. I wish you could mix and match the meats instead of just getting all meats. Maybe you can. Maybe when you go order there, but we kind of did do delivery, so maybe they don't give you that option.
True.
But yeah, I thought it was they're delicious. I enjoy eating from there as well. And then yeah, so that's our first impressions here. Before we go deeper into it, let's do first impressions of Project Hail Mary, the book. Let's go to the book.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Let's go to the book, and then we'll go into the movie. So, Project Hail Mary, book by Andy Weir, or what's his name? Weir?
Yeah, Andy Weir.
Andy Weir. He's a phenomenal author. I think he knows his stuff. He knows he's very, very science heavy. He knows his things there. So it is a book that's written by him, and it became into a motion film starring Ryan Gosling. I don't know the director's name. Do you guys know the director's name?
Phil Lord and Chris Miller.
Phil Lord and Chris Miller.
Yeah, they're a duo.
So duo, great, and again, phenomenal job with the film. But what are our first impressions on the book when we first read the book? What do you think?
I think I'll let you go first because you read it first,
Okay.
and then I read it per your recommendation, and then we recommended it to Vic, so
Yes.
you can go in order.
Okay, so yeah, I read the book last year. I think like around I think it was the fall time.
Okay.
Had no expectations. I had never read an Andy Weir book before, but I had watched The Martian. I really liked The Martian.
Martian was good, yeah.
So I was like, oh yeah, like I'll read Project Hail Mary. I actually think I went to the bookstore with my parents and my dad bought it, but I was like, hey, I kind of read fast, so can I like read it first?
Right.
And like within like 2 chapters, I was like, this is probably gonna be like my favorite book ever, without even
Really?
like meeting Rocky yet, because like he doesn't show up until like chapter 10.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just had such a great time. I like it's one of my favorite books that I've ever read.
Okay.
Of all time. I
Really?
this might surprise some people who might know me, but I do like science. I do enjoy science. Like I don't like intense like thermonuclear dynamics, like engineer stuff. I'm not a huge fan of, but
Right.
I do love biology, and that's like what I looked into studying initially before I decided to go to film school. So yeah, I really loved like all the science stuff, and it's funny. That's why I loved it so much. And like, yeah, Sierra will tell you, like when I finished it, I sobbed like a baby, and I told I became like Project Hail Mary, like telling everybody, you need to read this book. It's so good. I cannot wait for the movie.
Yeah.
So that was my impression of everything. I've had my parents have read it, my grandma read it. I'm trying to get like the rest of my family to read it,
yeah.
but I love it so much.
Did you read the book before you knew they were making a movie, or did you already know the movie was coming out and so you're like, I want to read the book?
I think I knew the movie was coming out. I think I read the book because I remember this. When the trailer came out, everybody said, don't watch the trailer before reading the book because there's a big spoiler, which is Rocky. Rocky is the big spoiler that like
Right.
they show in the trailer. So I didn't watch the trailer. I was like, okay, let me like power through this book and see, you know, what this is all about. So yeah, I knew that the movie was being made, and the reason I read the book was because I wanted to see the trailer for the movie. So yeah.
Okay. Interesting. All right, Sierra. What about you?
Oh my
First
gosh.
impressions of
Yeah,
the book.
I had an interesting experience with this book because I speed read it in I think 3 days before I went to see the movie, because everyone had been telling me like, you have to read it, it's so worth it. And so I had good intentions the whole like, what was that, probably like 8 months between when the trailer came out and then the movie was released,
Right.
where I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna read it at some point. But I was deep in Harry Potter at the time, so like did not make time for it. And then I had made plans to see the movie on opening night, and I was like, well, I'd still like to try. So I read it really, really fast. Which is like not how I usually read a book. So I think like it didn't give me as much time as I would have liked to maybe like get into the story super emotionally, but I was so impressed with like the story itself. All of the science of it is shocking. Like I did not expect it to be so science and math heavy. Like Andy's writing is wild. And then I like read his bio in the back of the book, and he's just a science enthusiast who happens to know and understand all of this information well enough to be able to write fiction about it then. Like I think that's what's so impressive. And also like I don't know any different, so I'm reading all of it like, yeah, this is absolute fact, everything totally checks out. And you do have to kind of like you almost, your brain skims over it a little bit in a way that's like okay, sure, I'm tracking with like the main names of things that you need to know, but like I don't know what the carbon dioxide level in the Earth's atmosphere is supposed to be, so like I would just believe everything he said.
Right.
But he tells the story so well, and I love a story that's like told like in a non-linear format. So with all of the flashbacks and like you're learning the perspective that he has on Earth while he's in the ship with him, and like the back and forth of all that was just a really cool way to like uncover the story itself. And then like obviously the relationship that Grace and Rocky have is like what carries it and what makes it so beautiful. So I love it. And then I think I loved it more after I watched the movie and like appreciated the comparison. And so yeah, now I'm a big fan.
There you go.
So
Nice. Yeah. I'm the same way. I rushed the book. I read it like a week before we were going to watch. So like I had to rush it. Like I was like at work, just like, let's go. We're going to chuck through this book. I had to listen to it. Because that's the only time I was able to. So I did the Audible. Was it Ray Porter that did the audiobook? Shout out to him. He did a phenomenal job, man.
It's a great audiobook.
Yeah, he had me hooked on that, and he was such a great job. I will say my little gripe with this book is I'm not a big fan of first-person writing.
Whoa.
Not a big fan of I like the third-person kind of it. So whenever we started the book, I was just like, oh, it's a first-person book. I'm like, oh, okay, let's just chug along through this, I guess. I think I got... messed up because of Twilight, I think. Because when I read the Twilight...
You read Twilight?
I read Twilight, yes. I read Twilight. Okay. I did read it. Mostly to impress a girl. But yeah, I read it. And I was just like, ugh, first person. This is disgusting.
Maybe you were just, Twilight, though.
Yeah, that's probably true. That's right.
There's so many good first-person books that are not Twilight. Not to hate on Twilight. Again, I don't care, but yeah.
Yeah. Maybe it might have been a little bit of both.
Let me recommend you some books later.
Yes, right. Okay. Please give me the list. Give me the list of that. But I don't know. I'm just like, oh, I was surprised. I was like, okay, I'd rather like get the scope of the third person. But, you know, going through the book, I was like, okay, it's not a big deal because like it made it like, yes, it was through the perspective of Grace, but it still made it like this big like picture. I saw the big picture still. Like it was just not just focused about Grace. It's about like this other aspects of what's going on. Even the flashback scenes, which I enjoyed, which I thought was brilliant because it's like he's waking up from a coma, so he doesn't remember things. And then like as the book progresses, his memories are coming back. So I was like, oh, that's a brilliant way of writing because you're coming back. You're learning things as more of this puzzle, as mysteries getting solved and stuff. It did get ruined because I did watch a trailer. Before I read the book, so I was just like, oh yeah, he's not an astronaut. He's supposed to not be up there, whatever. But I didn't know why he wasn't, like he was there. So I went in with the book going, oh yeah, he's not supposed to be up there, whatever. Okay, so we know that, you know. But I didn't know why, you know, he was still there, whatever. So I didn't know much. I just like caught glimpses of the trailer.
Yeah.
But yeah, it didn't ruin the whole thing effect. So like I didn't know. It got ruined with Rocky because everyone started posting about Rocky. So I was just like, what's this Rocky thing? What's going on? What's happening? But then when I read the book, I was like, oh, okay, so that's Rocky. So I was a little bit, you know, spoiled a little bit, but not too much. Like I didn't know what happened in the end. I didn't know what's going on with certain parts of the book. So it was still a big surprise. It was good. I paused during a couple sections of the book. I was like, no, they're not going this route. Or like, you know, which we'll dive into it. So my first impressions, I love the book. It was great. It was good. Andy Weir did a good job. Makes me want to read The Martian because I really like the movie.
I'm reading it right now.
Is it good?
It's very good. It's very different, which is funny. Like I won't curse or anything on the podcast, but you know how like Ryland does not curse in the book?
Yeah.
In The Martian, the first, like one of the first sentences is an F word.
Oh,
so
really?
it's like Mark
Watney,
the main character in Martian, is like just so different from Ryland, and it just made it really fun because it's like, oh yeah, this is not Project Hail Mary. Like he's spitting F-bombs every other sentence, and it's
the
very
R
fun.
version of Project Hail Mary.
Yeah.
Okay, definitely. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I do want to read the book because I enjoyed the movie. I thought the movie was great. I was very interested. It got me hooked. So very interested. So those were our first impressions of the book here. Let's jump into the movie here. First impressions of the movie. What do we think about the movie? What did you think? Ryan Gosling killed it. You think he did a good job? Do you think, you know? Well, yeah, which go first impression?
I have so many thoughts. I like don't know where to
go.
start.
Go. You go first.
Ryan Gosling was great. I do think he makes such a great Ryland, like, and captures that character so well. I think. No, I like don't know where to start because one of my like biggest problems with the movie was that I feel like they wrote Ryland's character a little different, and that he was like more silly, goofy, like not taking himself as serious as he was in the book.
Yeah.
Overall, though, it like still was a great translation of that character. But I think so when I first watched the movie after literally finishing the book that day, I think I like was just mostly bummed at first by like what they missed, like especially in the second half of the story, all of the other scenes that just like totally got skipped in the movie. So I think I just like missed having that. My like two main issues were that Grace and Rocky, both of them, I guess, were just kind of like dumbed down a little bit for the movie. Like in the book, they are absolute geniuses, and I feel like you just don't see the scope of that and like their actual like hard work in the movie as much as you do in the book. And then there were just a couple of those scenes later on towards the end, which I can like, I don't know, I feel like we can wait to hold on to talk about the end, but I like just really missed some of that. But so then I watched it a second time though, and then I was like, wait, the movie does tell the story very well in its own way. And so I think like if I take a step back and just look at it as its own adaptation of the story, then it's literally perfect. And like the movie does everything it needs to, and the whole cast is great. It just is different from the book. And so it was like hard to come to terms with that distinction at first.
Okay. Interesting. Maralisa, what do you think?
Oh, 10 out of 10. I thought it was like the best movie I've ever seen. I literally like on my letterbox, it is in my top 4 films of like that I've ever seen. Yeah, I loved it. I do agree with a lot of what Sierra said about how the story is dumbed down, but I mean, you know, my opinion is always like the book is always going to be better than any movie, just because you're in the characters' brains in a way that you can't be in a movie. Yeah. And that's fine. Like I'm a movie person. I say that, well, not really, but like I love movies. So I'm not like hating and think like books are superior, but I do think that there's just something so magical about books that you can't put in movies. But in a similar way, there's magical things about movies you can't add in the book. So like there are some scenes in the movie that I was like, yeah, I didn't get this emotion that I had from watching or from reading it compared to like in the movie, like the scene with, you know, all the, when they're in the Petrova line and like it turns all red and he's like, you know, with all the little bits and pieces.
He's having
or whatever.
his moment.
Yeah, he's having his moment. And like the soundtrack is just phenomenal. I loved Ryan Gosling's performance. Like I thought it was so good. Yeah. I knew that I was like gonna go into it and just be so emotional because like the story just means so much to me. Yeah. And it was, I loved it. I don't even know what else to say. Like I just think it was great. I think my first Letterboxd review was like, I actually can't talk about this because I'm gonna start like crying because it's so good.
Man.
I loved it.
I agree. I think the movie was phenomenal. I think they did a good job. Yeah, I mean, obviously, it can be said with any movies that's adapted from a book is that the book's always going to be better. There's more details, more explanation, things like that. I mean, we could say about the Harry Potter movies. The books are always better. It explains it a little bit more. I think they did a good job for what they did and to condense it down as much as they could because, I mean, this is a 2.5-hour movie. Yeah. So
I would have watched 5 hours.
Well,
I would have watched 10.
Yeah, I'd watch a lot of it too, but like most people would be like, you know. So I think they did a good job. I agree with you, Sierra. I think with Riley and Grace, I think they kind of dumbed him down a little bit, make him a little bit more goofier. Which, like in the book, he's goofy too.
He is, like that is part of his character. I just think also in the book you see how much of an absolute genius he is too. Like the biggest comparison I like had been telling people was especially when he wakes up on the ship in the book, he's like immediately obviously has no idea where he is because he's coming out of this coma and like had this amnesia and everything. So he like it just starts doing math to figure out like what the gravity of his environment is. Yeah. And that's how he figures out like, okay, I guess I'm not on Earth right now because it's not Earth's gravity. So he like is immediately just solving all of his problems with science and like creating these hypotheses for him. Hypotheses. It's been a minute since I've thought about science. But he's just using his brain so much more to like figure out everything about his situation. And then in the movie he's just like running around drinking the vodka on the ship, like screwing around, getting drunk, and that just it feels like a different version of the character, which like I just kind of had to come to terms with because again, like that works so well for the movie. So there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm like, put some respect on this man. He's a genius scientist.
He has a PhD.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. What I enjoyed about the book was like the struggle it was for him to just like even get out of like the medical bay area he was in because he's like, in order for him to like open the door, he had to say his name. Yeah,
so he didn't know.
He didn't know. So like. And the movie is like he's already climbing, going through the whole ship, and I was like, "Oh, okay."
And especially the part in the movie in that scene when he looks out like a huge porthole kind of window and sees space, like that's not in the book at all. And I mean, that feels like that'd be more terrifying to see space after you don't know where you are. Like then because in the book he did go into a full panic attack when he realized what was happening. And I don't think you see that shock quite as much maybe in the movie, or he's just like more quick to accept it, which feels a little bit more unrealistic. But they had to keep things moving. So I mean,
you know, it's like a visual medium, so it would be like it wouldn't be fun to just watch someone do math for like 20 minutes. You know, you have to like just be like, here's the porthole and space is outside. Like you have not to like. I'm not going to try and defend this movie against
Right.
people. Like it's whatever.
No, do it. Yeah.
I will defend this movie with my life.
Yeah, and it is a visual medium.
Yeah.
It's so true. So like it does just translate differently.
No, I agree. Yeah, like I think in the book, like he like does all this science to figure out like he's not in the orbit, and then in the movie he's like scrolling like through the things like,
Yeah.
oh, we're not from Earth. You know,
That's not our son.
That's not our son. That's not our son. So I was like, okay, that's an okay balance.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to see him just like writing stuff on the whiteboard the whole time.
guess.
Trying to, like, I mean, I would have enjoyed it. I would have been like,
kinda
oh, this
liked
guy's
it.
smart. He's figuring out. Instead of going like, iPad scrolling. Like, where am I? Where am I?
True.
So I think it was good. Yeah, we can start diving deep into some chapters here. But before we dive deep, let's dive deep into these tacos. That
Oh,
we have
okay.
here.
Yes. Taco break. It feels like a
let's talk
commercial
about it.
break.
Yeah.
my notes again.
Before we pause before our sponsors here, into these tacos here. So, like Rylan Grace, you didn't know what you were getting yourself into with these tacos. You didn't know what was going on.
I mean, I guess.
So-
I've had
so
tacos before.
like what kind of tacos you were having here. So
Okay.
and you realize, oh, I've had tacos before, but now let's see these tacos here. So you said you like the carne asada, Marlisa.
I did,
Talk to
but
me about that.
I was thinking about it because, like, listen, I'm a carne asada girl. I love carne asada, and I'm not gonna hate on chicken. I do love chicken, but chicken tacos are not my
the
fave.
same.
So it's like, yeah, carne asada were so good. But then what were the crunchy tacos?
The Dorados one, they're like the Dorados. Which one?
Yes.
The flat one or the actual like crunchy taco?
The actual crunchy.
There was all carne asada, but the
Yes.
consomme was birria inside. Yes.
Yeah, adding the carne asada with the birria.
It's good?
Perfection.
Oh, okay.
Delicious. I thought it was phenomenal.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
Very good.
Yeah,
It's probably the best birria. Is that how you say it? Like
Birria.
probably the best birria I've ever had.
Really? Ooh,
Wow,
snap.
okay.
True. And I've had some.
Interesting.
I love birria.
Okay,
If I can
okay.
get
Yeah,
it,
it was
I
really
get
good.
it. But I don't. It's hard to eat it because it is super messy. So
It is
Yeah,
messy, yes.
yeah.
It
It's
is
an
very
unfortunate
messy.
truth.
Yeah. It's
that's
delicious.
true.
Though. It's worth it. It's worth the mess.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure. What about you,
Those are great.
Sierra?
I mean, similarly, yeah, like I do love chicken, but it just doesn't hit the same in taco form. The carne asada is definitely where it's at. It's just like flavored better.
Yeah.
Loved the carne asada with the cheese on it. That was also the one that was like the tortilla was hardened or like fried more or
Yes,
whatever.
yeah.
But I had the one that was flat, which was kind of like torta style, I
Yeah.
guess, which is just like a little harder to eat. I feel like I should have tried the one that was like folded up.
Yeah.
But I mean, flavor palette wise, it's exactly
good.
the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. I had the chicken was the first time I had the chicken from that
Okay.
place. So it was good. I think it could have been a little bit more seasoned. I think if they added the lemon inside, maybe instead of me putting it, I think it would have been a bit more seasoned well.
Sure.
I enjoyed it. It still was good, but the carne asada is really good.
Yep.
Now I'm kind of wishing that I could have gotten the birria ones because you would have loved the birria ones. They were so good because like
Good Lord.
all of that would be full of birria. Oh man, it's delicious.
But it would have been a
Dang, that
mess.
would be
It would have been
Yeah.
messy.
I'm
yes.
glad you didn't get
It
them. I didn't want to
would've
mess
been
up your
messy, yeah.
apartment.
It's all right. It's
I
fine.
can't get birria on my space
Yeah.
suit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
next
wait,
time.
should we mention that we're wearing our glasses?
Oh,
like this
yeah, that's
because
right,
of
you're
the
No,
movie?
dressed
it's an
up.
Easter egg. They just have
Yeah.
to notice.
Yeah,
I
that's-
forgot my glasses, so I had to bring my sunglasses.
Yeah, there you go.
Sorry.
He wears sunglasses.
That's not our
sometimes.
son.
That's our son. Hey, there you go.
I like it.
Okay, so diving deep into Project Hail Mary here. Yeah, so we have the introduction. The book, we see how he's struggling to, get up through the ship, figuring out what is happening. In the movie, he's like zooming around in zero speed, zero gravity, running around what's happening. I don't like how he drank the vodka like right away in the movie because
Yeah.
I'm like in the book he like saved it for a special occasion at the end.
Yeah.
So when he drank it all, I was like, oh, like
It just feels kind of irresponsible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I mean, what would you guys do? If I saw that
Full
there was, if I
panic.
was, if I was in space alone and the two people who were supposed to be there have also passed, and then I find the Russian girl's vodka, guess what I'm doing? Guess what I'm doing?
you're drinking it.
I'm drinking that vodka,
Oh my God.
and then I'm gonna be like, maybe I'll wake up back on Earth, like
Oh
you
my
know.
goodness. I'd be throwing up all over the place because my
Oh my
vertigo would be
gosh.
going
That's
off the
true.
roof.
Yeah.
I'd be like,
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
one thing too in the movie that like I'm glad that they didn't do this, but like in the book he talks about how like once you're when you're not like floating through space, when you like stop, how it felt for him like he was like on a roller coaster and how terrifying it was.
Yeah.
But like it's hard to add that in the movie. So
Yeah, for
It's
sure.
okay.
It's okay. What do you guys think of in the movie how they portrayed the Project Hail Mary, the ship?
The ship itself.
Do you
Oh, the
think?
ship.
Do you think the design they did a good job with the design? I kind of picture something more like sleek, a little bit more like
Yeah.
space. This one looked like it had like just 3 big columns at the back of it, kind of like
Yeah.
big. So I picture something else differently.
Yeah, put it
and-
up. I was about to say
There's like a diagram somewhere in the book.
there's
They have
like
a diagram of the book?
They do, yeah. They have a diagram of the book. What's funny, I've heard Andy Weir say that he's not somebody who is good at like visualizing actual things or
Okay.
people. So like when people asked him like, did you ever think like Ryan Gosling would play like Ryland Grace? He was like, I never saw what Ryland looked like. Like
Yeah.
it was just who he was on the inside.
Inside, yeah.
So like when you look at this, it's a very I don't want to say dumbed down version because it's a really good, like interesting version of the ship,
Yeah.
but that's just what I pictured. And I think there's actually like a fun Easter egg in the movie when they're first showing Project Hail Mary to Ryland where that original picture from the book is on the screen.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Oh, okay, interesting.
I did hear, I think Andy, we were talking in an interview about how they changed the like centrifuge method for the ship in the movie to make it like look like it made more sense. And I didn't even notice because I like barely wrapped my brain around.
I don't know what a centrifuge is.
Because it was a bigger point in the book where so like when the ship is in centrifuge mode,
Like it's spinning?
Yeah, it's like spinning, so it's creating that artificial gravity for him.
Yeah.
And then that's how he's like able to do science experiments and be like literally grounded enough to do anything on the ship. And then when it's in its like normal looking like a ship mode, they're like back to zero gravity.
Yeah.
And so I don't feel like they did as much of that back and forth in the movie, but there would be like shots where you can see the ship kind of like changing into that centrifuge. But yeah, Andy explained something about how like they did simplify it a bit more for the movie.
Yeah.
And like he actually thought like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
the scientists figured that
It's a
out.
lot
I
of
guess.
science to
Yeah.
explain.
I will.
totally.
I will say, Rocky ship is not what I thought it
No.
looked like at all
Yeah,
in the
no,
movie.
yeah.
Because it freaked me out a little bit. It's too
Really?
spiky.
It
I
is
don't.
very
It's a spiky, scary looking ship. And
looked like it was like-
I
yeah.
just pictured like blob. I don't know,
A blob.
like just like another ship, but more grainy, I guess, to
I
look
thought
like
it'd
the
be like
Rocky.
more sleek because like I
Yeah.
thought iridium would be or like not iridium xenonite or whatever.
Yeah,
I thought it'd be
xenonite.
like more like sleek silver, like smooth, like or like
Yeah.
with like some sharp edges there. Yeah, when I saw the ship, I was like, this looks like a bunch of cranes, like
It
construction
does.
cranes everywhere. Like
And
built
I was like,
together.
where do they live? Because it looks like it's just like lines.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
where
exactly,
Did the,
yeah.
Where do the Rockies?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
where-
doesn't look very practical. I think though, so because the Iridians don't perceive light, so they're not like seeing things. I
Yeah.
guess it makes sense for them to have a ship that like is more textured and like has like it. I don't know. It just looks like kind of a bunch of different sticks at one point.
Yeah.
But maybe something with the textural design of it makes more sense for like the way that they perceive through like 3D spaces and like the sound waves and everything.
Yeah.
But to your point about the xenonite too, like I remember in the book, and I think maybe they didn't specify in the movie, but at least in the book, when Grace first meets Rocky and like Rocky had a like wall up between them of like all the different textures,
Yeah.
and Ryland goes to the one that looks like more opaque or
Yeah,
like
see-through,
see-through
yeah.
because he
Yeah.
wants to see what's on the other side. And so that's the xenonite. And then Rocky tells him later, he's like, well, I presented 30 or whatever different like material
Yeah.
options to you. I didn't know what you would respond to best.
Yeah.
And you picked the xenonite.
Xenonite,
So then
yeah.
that's why like that's what Rocky uses to
Yeah.
like build everything and like
So
send stuff to
smart.
them in the
He's such
future.
a
He is
smart
So
guy.
who knows
He's
what
very
their ship
smart.
was actually made of? I
True.
don't think they really specify.
Well, I think it was made of the xenonite
Yeah, it's made of
because
xenonite.
then you find like the radiation
That's
sickness is
true.
what
Yeah.
caused all of the
Yeah.
other Iridians to die.
And
That's
that's how
true.
the predator, the apex predator that kills the
Talmiba.
Tell me that's how I escaped into his ship,
Yeah.
and like that's how it shut him off.
That's true,
So it was
yeah.
made of xenonite.
So maybe that is like their main material, still. Yeah.
which is crazy.
Yeah.
Do you guys? How do you guys think they portrayed Strat in the movie?
Oh, this is
That's a
this
good
is gonna be a
question.
good discussion.
Yeah.
Because Sierra and I have talked about this a
Who is
lot.
Strat? I'll
Yeah.
go off the bat, and it's like I don't like how they did in the movie
Okay.
as much. I think they did a good job, but I felt like she wasn't like cold-hearted more in the movie as she was in the book. In the book, she's like straight to the, like, I'm doing this, whatever, like, whatever. In the movie, like we have like a karaoke scene with her, and I was
Yep.
like, I don't know how I feel about this. I
Yeah.
mean, it's cool. I like the addition, but like,
I'm alone in this.
oh, you
world,
like
and
that part? Really?
So the way I see it, it's like book strat and movie strat are just two because
They're
it's-
pretty different.
They're just two different people
Right.
in my opinion. And I at first was kind of like, oh, they're really like humanizing her. That's interesting. But by the end, I really loved what they did with her character.
Okay.
So yeah, I really liked how they humanized her. I'm like a fan of just. I think that characters are more interesting when they are more complex like that, where it's like you think that she's a hardened, like just no, I don't care what it takes. I'm gonna get like
Yeah.
I'm gonna do whatever it takes to save Earth. I'm the only one who can.
Yeah.
And then you see, like, in the movie, they make it more, well, this is where it might be a little controversial because
Okay.
I feel in the movie that they kind of made it seem like Ryland and her were kind of leaning towards a more romantic,
like a thing. Yeah.
a romantic relationship. I thought that was a great addition.
Really?
I think it is. I'm somebody who I love sad movies.
Right.
Like I love sad stories. Sorry, but like I just like La La Land. Love it. I love that movie so much because of how sad it is at the end. It's not that I'm like glad that they're miserable at the end or sad, but I just think that it's more interesting for a story. And so to add this thing where like Sierra and I were like watching the movie the other day, and I was like, imagine 3 days if that like building hadn't exploded and all the scientists hadn't died, 3 days. And if they were like really leaning towards a romantic relationship, then maybe like something could have happened between them. But because the scientists all died and he was the only one who could go, and she has to betray him like that, like it's so juicy to me. I just love that.
I don't know. I think it's funny the way you perceive that though, because I like don't even think I read into it that much in the movie. Like I think that we literally just rewatched it, and so there's like the scene where Rocky and Ryland are talking about Rocky's maid, and then he's like, "Oh, do you have anybody?" And he's basically like, "No, I'm sad and lonely."
Yeah.
And then it like immediately cuts back to a flashback of
The karaoke
what
scene.
becomes the karaoke scene. And it starts with Ryland just like sitting at the bar alone, like watching everyone already like coupled up.
Yeah.
So I think like that translates very well to like, he doesn't really have like a partner or a lot of like close people in general. So like maybe he has that sense of loneliness, but then it immediately goes to Strat singing, and it just like does. It felt out of character at first. I think I like don't mind it now, and it does really humanize her, which I think was important for the movie because you lose out on so much other character information for her.
Right.
So that by the time she is like essentially betraying Ryland to send him up into space against his will, you need to like understand her as a person a little bit more to not completely villainize her in that scenario.
Yeah.
So I think the karaoke scene does balance that out, but I don't know that I read it as like it's really romantic between
And that's fine.
them.
Like I totally get that a lot of people don't see it. I just do.
You
Like
just want it.
Well, yeah.
You're seeing what you want to see.
The way Ryan Gosling was looking at this woman, I was like, okay. Like if a guy was looking at me like that, I'd be like, hello, like what's going on? Like I felt at least like if not a romantic relationship, then like a friendship, like something, some like closer relationship than before. I think that the book does like a good job still of humanizing her. Like I'm not saying that I don't think that she was like humanized, especially in the end because like a big difference from the book and the movie is in the book, Ryland doesn't like immediately go onto the spaceship. They don't like drug him and then he just immediately goes on. He spends like a couple days in prison basically. He's just stuck
against
there.
his will,
And then they have like a really deep conversation where she reveals like she studied history. So she knows that when food supplies run out, that's when humanity like turns into its worst version of itself, you know? And so she's basically like just trying to convince him what she's doing is the right decision, even if he is the one who is, getting the short end of the stick basically with this whole thing. So
she's really saying like, I don't have a choice. Like you have to go for
like,
the
we
sake
got to
of
do
all
this.
of
Yeah.
humanity.
No, I agree. Yeah. I think, I could see little glimpses of like a romantic thing. Like the way I saw it was when she's like outside the boat and then he goes outside and he's like, hey, what are you doing out here?
That was like a little almost flirty.
It was super.
It was
I was
pushing the
like,
limit a little.
also the scene like right before the building explodes when he like gives her the coffee and then he says like, so what are you doing for the next 20 years?
Yeah.
Oh,
He's
What do you mean
gonna
by that? So
But
you want to
also,
spend those
she's
20
the
years
kind
with
of
me?
person who would just like joke around like that in general, and he's also like a lot more nervous about like the whole situation. She's very like calm, cool, collected the whole time.
I think so. Speaking of like romantic like relationships, I think something that they should have put in the movie, which I was like, when I was reading this part of the book, I was like, Ryan Gosling would have killed in this funny scene. Is when he's having that interaction with Dubois and the other, and he's like Dubois like I've started a sexual relationship with her. And he's like, what? And he's like, can we just get back to this?
Yeah.
He's like, I don't.
I love
That whole
that scene.
that whole scene that they had in the book, I was like, I wish they did that in the movie because Ryan Gosling would have been perfect to be
Yeah.
it
like.
would have been funny.
Like he'd be
He
like,
would've been
what?
just
Like,
like,
so uncomfortable. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it was so hilarious. Like, it was funny. And they're like, the girl, I forgot the girl's,
Shapiro, I think is
yeah,
her name.
Shapiro, she's like, hey, we have time after this. You want to go do something real quick afterwards? And he's like, yeah, that'd be excellent.
Yeah.
She's like, oh my
And,
god,
like, and
kill
Ryan's
me.
like, seriously, dude? It's like, I'm still here. Can we just talk about the...
yeah, he just like felt so awkward.
Yeah, like in the movie, you kind of see them like kind of bundled up, and then he's like, "Whoa, like what's going on?" But that's it. That's all you see. And I was
Yeah.
just like, I wish they would have.
Yeah, they don't actually like
Yeah.
address it.
Yeah, I thought that would have been like classic comedy gold, like for
Yeah.
there. For that would have been so like the awkwardness, the uncomfortableness with Ryan. Like,
so
okay,
true.
this is
The other scene in the book where they all think that him and Strat are sleeping together,
yeah,
I
yeah.
thought
Oh,
was
yeah.
so funny when they're like, wait, like you guys aren't hooking up? He's like,
No.
no, she's scary.
Because
Yeah.
I think the other like scientists and people kind of question like, why are you still here?
Yeah.
Like he really does
they
earn
tell
his
him
way,
like you're like,
but
yeah, it's like you're her number one guy.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
you should know.
yeah.
It just endears you so much to his character that he doesn't realize that he is the number 2 person
Yeah.
on this mission
project, yeah.
because he is such like a humble and like not confident man that he's like, no, like she just has me in this broom closet and like I don't even know why I'm here. But then everybody's like, dude, you're like the number like
Yeah.
you're the vice president of this
Yeah,
project.
you're literally
you know?
telling us everything about astrophage. You're like telling us
Yeah,
what to do.
he's like
So-
the top leading
Yeah.
scientist on this project. Like,
well,
love
and-
him.
okay.
Yeah.
On the note of his importance, can we talk about the difference or like the change in the movie to leave out the genetic code that was needed to go on the ship? Because that's like a game
Oh,
changer
yeah.
for Rylan getting to space. So I guess for those who did not read the book, the quick
Loser.
recap. What are you doing?
Read the book. Pause right here. Read the book. Right
Dead. But so in the book, it's like they explain that to be able to put the astronauts into this coma that's going to last how many years?
4
Yeah.
years, like technically for their
For their
bodies,
time,
but it would
yeah.
be like 11 years for
Yeah.
the actual time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to be able to put a human in a coma for 4 years is like already very unsafe,
Yeah.
period. And so they explain how like scientists prior to this whole issue even coming up had like been inventing this form of a coma that they were testing on cancer patients to be able to put someone in a long-term coma so that they could undergo their like cancer treatment and whatever without having to live through that essentially.
Yeah.
And it was relatively successful, but they could only do it on people with this very specific
yeah.
genetic code
Yeah.
so that they would even like survive that coma because obviously your body's not supposed to go through that.
Right.
So when they were recruiting for the Hail Mary mission, they had to wind down the percentage of astronauts and people who were already qualified for this down to I forget what percent, but like
I think it was like 1 million people, like would
Like total.
out of like the 7 or 8 billion people on Earth, it would be 1 million people.
Yeah.
and that's like people period, not qualified
Yeah.
people.
They're like not astronauts. but
Yeah.
qualified,
So like very small pool of people to work with who are qualified to go on the ship because of their genetic code and all of their like actual expertise and stuff.
Yeah.
And so you don't find out until towards the end of the book after the other 2 scientists who were supposed to go on the ship are killed that Rylan does have the genetic code to go. Like he had been tested early on in the process and Strat never gave him the results. She was just kind of like hiding that in her back pocket.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why she was keeping him around the whole time too. Like obviously he was integral to the science of the mission and everything, but she knew the whole time like he might be it. Like we might actually need him at some
Yeah.
point, need him to go. And he didn't know that. And so skipping all of that in the movie, I don't think is like, I don't know, the biggest loss. Like the movie translates fine without it.
Yeah.
But I do think it like gives a different weight to his character when you know that like
Yeah.
it was a bigger surprise to him, whereas Strat knew the whole time that like it might come to this. Like she was
Gotcha.
kind of planning ahead a little bit more.
Interesting. Yeah, interesting. With the
Yeah.
DNA. Yeah, I do remember that. They're like trying to narrow it down. And in the movie, they don't really like explain it.
They
as
don't.
much.
They don't have it at all. I don't think in the movie.
Yeah, there's-
and
No.
similarly, they also don't talk about how in the book Strat is the one who gives him the amnesia that he has when he wakes up.
Yeah.
It's not because of the coma.
Yeah.
But the movie makes it seem like it's just our listener,
Oh, yeah.
our real time visitor or listener didn't know
she's mind
this.
blown. She's mind blown.
The same thing happened. I was like, my friends were asking me what the differences were in the book, and when I told them that, they were like, "Oh my gosh, like that's crazy." They assumed that just because he was like in a coma is from
forgot
that's
his
why
memory.
he has the amnesia. But it's because when when Ryland was realizing that Strat was going to like put him there against his will, he said, I'm
gonna
like,
tell everyone-
I'm gonna tell everyone, I'm gonna sabotage this, like,
Yeah.
because I don't want to go. And she said, well, I know, she was like, I know you're a good man and you're not gonna do that, but on the 0.1% chance that you do, I'm giving you this
Yeah.
amnesia.
And we just say that it's the coma that got you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're gonna go behind the.
Yeah.
I remember that because I was like, "Oh, you sly."
Because
Yeah.
it is very
you strat-
risky.
you strat-
Yeah, like you don't know what state you're going to be sending someone into space in, and you need the mission to be successful.
And it was the lead astronaut that was Takamura or Taka whatever his name.
The
main-
Asian guy
Yeah,
who
the
was
main-
like the head. Yeah.
Yeah, he was the
Can't
one who's
remember
like,
his
"Oh, if you don't want to come, it's fine. Like we'll have the other one." And Strat's like, "Oh, he threw a wrench in our plan. Like it
Yeah.
was always going to be
Yeah.
you. It was never going to be the next person up. It was going to be you."
Yep.
So I remember reading that. I was like, "Oh man, like I hate you, Strat. You
Yeah, I mean,
She's a
it's
complicated
brutal.
character.
Yeah.
She is
She's like, I
complicated.
think she's one of the most interesting characters in the whole book because it's like she did what she had
Yeah.
to do. She sacrifices her humanity and
Yeah.
her morality to save, like, without even realizing it, 2 planets.
Yeah.
So it's like, listen, give the girl props
Yeah.
where
yeah,
she
had to
saved
do,
us.
She
You
had
know,
to do what she
Yeah.
had to do. So
You also don't see in the movie all of the other things she's doing on Earth before the mission starts to like sacrifice things for the sake of humanity too. Like they paved like half of the Sahara Desert to
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
able to farm the
astrophage?
Yeah, the astrophage. They needed like a
Yep.
huge specific amount of space that they could like heat up to do that and like start that whole process. And
what
then
else did they do? What else did they
started
do?
glou global warming.
Yeah, they melted the polar
Yeah,
caps.
Yeah,
They
started
they
melting.
nuked Antarctica.
Yeah.
So they can get enough of the heat to like.
Yeah.
Well, because they needed to create greenhouse gases
Yeah.
to
Yes.
like
To keep
warm
the
Earth's
planet warm.
atmosphere
Yeah.
for longer and like preserve things.
There's a lot of things that they left out. I mean, it'd be a lot of film to film.
Totally.
And a lot of CGI to film to
Yeah. It
like
would.
show all that stuff. Before we get again to the finishing, we're not finishing up, but continue on. Let's do a little quick pause break on for the tacos. For the tacos here.
Yeah, let me
more,
get notes.
more note talks here. Speaking of like spicy relationship stuff like that, that could have been here.
Okay.
Let's talk about the seasoning and like talk about like the salsa and the guacamole. You guys, I saw you guys. There was guacamole and salsa. What do you guys think about the salsa?
They were both
The-
great. I need
Oh,
the salsa
yeah.
up the tacos for sure. So I was loading them up.
It was only
with
green
both.
salsa, right? There,
Yeah.
was there any red? No,
I
I didn't
see it.
get.
I remember
didn't have
I got
red.
the green one because I tried the red one, and yeah, that was pretty spicy. I was just like, oh my goodness, like this is pretty hot. and
Yeah,
stuff
I
like
didn't
that.
think the green was super spicy. Like it added great flavor, but I wasn't like, wow, this is hot.
Okay.
Yeah.
good.
What about the guacamole sauce? I think
I
that's-
will
great.
eat and guacamole in any form. I love guac. It's so good. So yeah, I was. You guys didn't notice, but I was like dumping it
As
in
you
near
should.
the end. I was like,
Yeah.
I didn't even know there was guac until like near the end. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
put that
it's
on my
more so like that.
taco.
Absolutely.
So good.
What else notes do you have on there, Marisa, for that?
I don't even know. I put chicken delish, not my fave. I said the green sauce made the carne asada even better.
Okay.
I said birria was the ultimate best part. IMO.
Okay.
Yeah, mine was
Okay.
pretty much the same.
Same thing for you, Sierra.
Yeah, my one line was just chicken good, need salsa. So
Come on, need salsa.
it was just like it just needed more flavor. But yeah, if you load it up, then it's perfect.
Okay, so there you go. Autentica, improve
good
a little
job.
bit on
So
your
good.
on your chicken, but you guys are doing good.
Yeah, no, it was great. It was
was
great.
good, it was
It's us,
good.
It's not you.
Just add a little bit more seasoning on there would be good with there,
Yeah.
but it's delicious. Again, I'm a big I'm hard when it comes to tacos. Like big critique, like it's got to
Oh,
be good.
snap.
If it's not good, I'm gonna say it's not good. But
Oh.
I liked it. I said I enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably not gonna like order it. Again, the
Okay.
chicken I'll probably go more with carne asada, more birria, more pastor.
Mm-hmm.
Chicken is like I said, it's very hard to like get a good chicken down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like good spot with chicken. Like it's very hard. So it's. Don't take it personally. It's very hard. Like I've had other places, same taco spots where I'm like the chicken's like meh.
Yeah.
It's mid. It's not
It's just like
That's
chicken
okay.
is just, if I'm going to get tacos, I'm not putting chicken on it.
Yeah.
Like, no, it's like
Want
carne
some
asada,
pizzazz.
some lengua, like some carnitas, you know?
Yeah. Oh yeah,
True.
definitely.
Delish.
I agree, 100%. So that was our taco talk right there. That's pretty much it. We didn't have a lot of different type of tacos. So I just wanted two sides.
Yeah, I think
here.
that might be the extent of my time.
Yeah, that's it.
Trying to think of what else.
It's like and their sodas. Like so.
Their radishes were really good.
Radishes. Yeah.
I loved the radishes. They
There
were
you go.
delish.
So I'm gonna ask you out here, Sierra, but you didn't like onions, so there's no onions on your taco.
No, yeah, you have some sad footage of me shoveling the onions off of my taco.
And you have me shoveling those onions onto my
Back
taco.
on.
I'm like, all right, I need
Perfect.
We had the method down. You're like out, and then you're in.
Yeah, that's fine. We're
It was
sharing.
good. It was good.
They were
It's
not
good.
wasted.
There you go.
All right?
So no onion and cilantro were wasted in this shot here. So That's it. We'll give our final thoughts on the tacos. Give your little rating of what you think about this place at the end.
Period.
I want to continue more Project Hail Mary talk and finish it up, and then we'll wrap up this episode here. I want to get into Rocky. Let's talk about Rocky here. Let's get into the Rocky. This is the main thing here. Ryland Grace meets an alien, meets an Iridian. When the book describes Rocky, I envisioned like more of like a, I don't know, the way he explains it, where like he has like the vents on his top. Yeah, like I envisioned more like robotic kind of like mechanic stuff like that. The movie had it okay, I guess. What do you guys think? How they portrayed Rocky in the movie?
Listen, I'm a puppet girl. I love puppets.
Crazy thing to
Okay, I'm just that's my jam. If movies have like I remember when I heard that he was going to be a puppet, I was like, this is gonna be the best movie I will ever see. Like,
Okay.
I like puppetry just as an art form. I think we don't have to get super into it, but it's just like it's gorgeous. Like I don't think that. I think that because it's so complicated, it adds so much to a movie for them to put puppeteering into it, because it is a complicated, not that I have like that much experience. I did take a puppet class in 8th grade, but whatever. I did perform as a puppet once or twice in my day. So I know how difficult it is a little bit, but like I just, when they do that, I think that's above and beyond. And like, obviously not all of him is puppeteering, like there's CGI parts of it, but I just think that it's like so phenomenal. What was the question again?
I think
How you think Rocky was portrayed?
He was so good.
I feel like you meant more like his character, but
Character. Yeah.
I do think we do need to note that like the physical production of this movie is extremely impressive. Just that so much of it was done practically in the ship space, like without other green screens and CGI and stuff. And for those who don't know, there was a team of people who puppeted Rocky that they called the Rocketeers, because it took like 5 or so people to be like moving his limbs. And then what's his name was like actually
James Ortiz.
Yeah, James Ortiz is
Another
actually,
Ortiz.
like, voicing.
And I think he's Puerto Rican too. Oh my gosh, we could be related.
Go find him. But like, very, very impressive. And I remember seeing some behind the scenes stuff too of how, like, for the directors, it was a huge like problem for them to figure out how to not only shoot the puppet in the real practical space and scenes, but also like especially when he's in the Xenonite ball, then you have to figure out how that's physically going to fit in these spaces, how you're going to fit the puppeteers and crew around it, and then the Xenonite like glass-like texture is reflecting light and cameras and all kinds of different things. And so for them to want to do it that much, to go through all these hoops and like take on that challenge to do it practically is so impressive and adds so much to Rocky's character.
Sure.
Like he was
100%.
done so well.
Oh yeah, I agree. We could talk about that ball, the Xenonite ball that came in. Here's where I had a little problem with the movie is how they portrayed him coming onto the ship.
Okay.
For the first time.
Yeah.
Yes.
They made it like he was like this 2-year-old kid going around. What's it? Like breaking it in.
Yeah.
Like he came in unannounced. Like in the
Yeah.
book, it's like, I'd like to go on your ship, and he's like, okay,
Yeah.
And Ryland's like, I would love that. Like, I'm so
Yeah.
excited.
He's like, let me prepare, let me get everything
Yeah,
ready.
he has at least a little bit of time to go back and like tidy up and like get ready for his house guest and everything.
Yes.
And this was like, I mean,
The movie's like, I'm
Yeah.
here. Like, wait, what?
And the comedy of it was great, but I do think there were some moments like that felt like Rocky's character was approached a little differently too, and
Yeah.
like was just a little like sillier. And I feel like a lot of people going into the movie who had read the book were concerned that Rocky was going to come across too pet-like or
Yeah.
like just too cute.
Yeah.
Because Rocky is also a genius.
He is a grown
Get this
Iridian.
straight.
He has a mate.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
is the top engineer in his field.
Hundreds of years old.
Yeah.
And like all the time, like they're doing so much science together in the book to like work through things and build things together and relying on each other's own expertise because they like fill the like gaps in each other's knowledge. And Ryland in his like inner monologue is saying all the time, like, this is the smartest engineer I've ever met.
Yeah.
This guy is amazing. He can do it all. Like they have so much mutual respect for each other in that way.
Oh, yeah.
And you don't quite see that in the movie, which I was definitely bummed about. Because I'm like, Rocky in the movie's great, but he is there for like a lot of like silly kind of comic relief and stuff, and you don't take him quite as seriously as Ryland does in the book.
Yeah, I agree. I think with the inner monologue stuff, I think the way they translated it to the movie was okay, where he's doing like the video diaries.
Yeah.
I think that was pretty cool because it's like, okay, now you can kind of talk and like talk about what his thoughts are. Like whereas like in the book, we just read what he's thinking.
We
So-
are him. Yeah.
yeah. So I thought that was cool. I mean, it had a cool little comedic moment where he's like, I have no piracy. He's like, I can't, he hears everything. And then, Rocky's like, who's Ryan talking to? And he's like, he can't hear me. He's like, yes, I can hear this.
Yeah,
so like,
so it is
that-
funny.
He's like, no privacy. He's got a roommate
Yeah.
now, which I thought it was cool. But like, they worked up to it in the book. Like in the book, he was like, oh, I'd like to see your ship. Okay, I'll tidy up. Okay, he's like, hey. And then Rocky's like, I have an idea. What if I come here instead of coming back and forth? I can build. And he's like, okay, so they work together. Whereas in the movie, he's like, where do I sleep? Where am I? This is my room. I was like, they made him look like, I understand he was curious because in the book, he was very curious. He was like, it explained like he was very curious. He wanted to know everything, but then he was unsure. And I like it in the book because he's like, he would point to something, but then he like hesitate and be like, no, okay, what's that? And then he like stop. So I thought it was like, he was very like polite and like hesitate. In the movie, he's like, what's that? What's that? What's that? What's that? What's that? And I was just like,
I do think you lose more of their culture code in the movie
Yeah,
of like
for sure.
two species like genuinely not quite knowing how to communicate culturally. Like
Right.
after they figure out the literal language, it's still like the whole sleeping thing is a really big deal that like Rocky really needs to see Rylan sleep
yeah.
to know that he's safe, but then Rylan thinks that's weird, and then it's like they have their issue with the way that they eat too. Like that's a different culture code for them.
Yeah.
Like there's so many nuances to getting to know a completely new species
more
that
disgusting in the book.
yeah, and like
Yeah, well, and he's more disgusted. Rocky like doesn't want him.
Yeah,
to see
he's
him
like,
eat.
I don't want you to see me eat.
Yeah.
like it's shameful for him, which I
Yeah.
think is also fascinating to see an alien creature like experiencing shame as an emotion and then like being protective of that too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, there's just so much nuance to that you just like don't have time for in the movie, which is fine. It reads
Yeah.
fine without it.
But I don't like how they did it in the movie a little bit where he's like, oh, the way you eat is disgusting. And then Ryan's like, well, I want to see you. He's like, oh, way to eat is beautiful. And then I was like,
yeah.
he wasn't like
They
that. In the
flip
book, he was like,
180
yeah, they flipped
flip
it.
it,
Right?
Like
yeah.
Rylan doesn't even know that he eats until like Rocky says something, and he's like, "Wait, you eat? Like I want to watch." And Rocky's like, "No, I don't want you to." And
Yeah.
Rylan's like, "Please, please, 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 please." He's like, "Fine, but you can't talk while this is happening."
Yeah.
And it's real, like it's a very sweet moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
And Ryan's like, that was disgusting.
yeah. He's like,
in
he
his
did
mind, he's
warn
like,
me. He did warn me that it was gonna be
yeah,
nasty.
he's like, it was
Yeah.
disgusting.
So
I should have
Yeah.
not. Yeah. So
Yeah.
But they're also trying to do stuff like that to learn about each other as a species and like be
Yeah.
able to like take the information back to their own planet and everything.
Yeah.
So they have to for the sake of science.
oh yeah, for sure. And speaking of science, another break on the topic. No.
Well, I wanted to bring up something quick that I
Yeah.
like, not to get all Tumblr right now, but like I did, like I'm deep in the Project Hail Mary Tumblr. Someone brought, I don't know who it was, but someone brought up how similar Rocky and Strat are.
Oh, you were telling me about this.
Yeah,
Yes,
I think I
yes.
sent you like the picture of
Yes.
that, but it's just a very interesting correlation someone like brought up is how they're such different characters, or they're such similar characters to Rylan, but they're also so different in how they treat him.
Yeah.
Where it's like Rocky and Strat, they're both like no nonsense. They don't joke about things, like they don't like jokes, or they
Right.
are incapable of jokes in Rocky's sense, I guess, kind of. But then, and they're also like very literal people, and the kind, they're very like confident that Rylan doesn't see himself as that. But then the biggest difference is how Rocky treats Ryland in like how even at the end of like both the book and the movie, where Strat says like, hey, you have 3 hours to decide this biggest decision of your life.
Yeah.
And then Rocky's like, no, you take all the time that you need.
Yeah.
Like it's just such a beautiful like way to show
Contrast
that
and definitely,
like you can still have that kind of similar person in your life, but the way that they treat you is so different. And it's
Yeah.
just like that. I thought that was really cool. Like I didn't notice that when
Yeah.
I
Yeah, I
first
didn't either.
watched or read the story.
Oh, for sure. I think we'll get into this now. Let's talk about like that fishing scene when he's going fishing for
I could talk about
the Talmiba. I liked how the movie was portrayed. And the book was good, but I felt the more intensity of it in the movie. I think it's because you have the music. It's like
Yeah.
the tense music. He's going there, and they're going to catch this Talmiba to see the breeding farm. It gets stuck. And then it was just very tense. I was getting tensed up.
Oh, yeah.
In the book, I was like, I got more tensed up in the book when when they were getting pulled back in the gravity. I thought that was more tense in the book. But
Yeah,
in the
for
movie,
sure.
like when he's like going, I was just like, even though I know how it ended, I was just like,
Yeah.
is he gonna make this? So I was like, almost
They're
like,
gonna
hold on.
change the story.
Like, gonna change it up. Like, does
I
he
mean,
die?
maybe, yeah.
And like, I can't imagine like how someone watching and never reading the book be like, what is going on? Like, oh snap, what's gonna happen?
Oh,
So
yeah.
it was very tense. And I liked how like it was just building up, and Rocky's like, no, we'll do this another time. And I was like, there's no other time, you know. I enjoyed it. I thought the visuals were very striking, very, very like amazing. Especially where like he like tilts the Project Hail Mary to like make it where he's like he's like blasting the planet pretty much. Like with the nuclear bullet, they have to keep going. I thought that was great because it's like in the book it's like I have to like angle it perfectly, otherwise we're not gonna get there. I enjoyed it. I thought it was very intense. You know, him getting hit when he gets hit by the crate. I was like, oh snap! Like that was it was tense. It was very tense. You just seen Lydia in the movie theater. She was like, oh,
On the edge
She-
of your seat.
Lydia and Alberto were both like, oh, like on the edge of the seat.
Have they read the book?
They've never read the book. They
Snap.
didn't even know anything about Project Hail Mary, so they went in blind.
That's perfect though.
No,
And I was over there sitting there.
Perfect.
I'm like, oh, just wait till we get this part. Just wait till we get this part. Wait till- So
Yeah.
It was done very well visually.
Oh
Like
my
it's
gosh.
beautiful, it's tense. I mean, I feel like that really is the climax of the movie.
Yeah.
Which is then like was kind of what was a bummer for me was I think you missed so much of the like the conflict in the last third of the book with the actual farming a predator and it escaping on the ship and then causing
Oh,
all these
yeah.
issues for both of them. Because I
Yeah.
feel like that to me felt like the real climax.
That
Because
was
then
more,
that
yeah.
leads up to when Ryland is like deciding if he's going home or going to Rocky.
Yeah.
And so I feel like this being the climax of the movie with the fishing scene, like just kind of translates their journey a little bit differently, but it was done so well.
Oh, I
and
agree.
it is so tense and like translates really well.
oh yeah,
So good.
yeah. I think, and then when they get back into the ship, this is where I thought like the book was better, where we have the scene where the gravity's pulling him back, and you know Ryan's getting crushed by all this gravity, and he's about to pass out. And we have Rocky. He comes out of his environment to save Grace, and the movie did it differently. The movie
Yeah.
had Rocky go and drags him into the medical bay, and then you know Rocky you think Rocky's he's spewing out all this black stuff. Which was I was just like, even though I knew I was like,
Yeah, you're scared for him for a little bit.
You are scared.
Yeah.
I like the book better, where like
Yeah.
he unhooks him and then he comes back and he sees Rocky like there, and he's like, no, and he's
Yeah.
like. He can't pick him up because I don't. They explain in the movie, but Rocky's like extremely hot. Like
Yeah.
he's like he lives in a hot environment, which in the movie they explain. But like Riley can't touch him.
Yeah.
He's really, but he's like, I'm doing
He
it
has
anyway.
to,
I
yeah.
have
He like puts him on his back
Yeah.
basically. He
Yeah.
has a lot more burns than like in the movie they put the burn
On
a
his
little bit
arm,
on his
yeah.
arm, but in the book it's like all over his body
Yeah.
because he's like he's the one who drags Rocky. Rocky doesn't drag him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I do think in general, in the book, they're both making sacrifices for each other multiple times,
yeah.
which is really like they already have an established trust, but then you see them risking themselves for each other. And this is the first time it happens where, like, yeah, Rocky's in his Xenonite ball, sees Ryland like smashed up against the console and just like feels like he needs to break out to do something. So he's sacrificing his own safety there. But then once he does save Ryland, he's kind of like, you're an idiot. Why'd you do that? Now
Yeah.
I need to save you.
Yeah.
But they're like immediately on each other's side.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
It was good. And I think when in the book he sacrifices like the environment of Rocky to put him back in his enclosure, so he gets like ammonia burned.
Yeah.
And so he has like ammonia in his breast. He's like, he almost kills himself diving out of the way, which I thought was, I wish they would have put that in the movie a little
Yeah.
bit better because like it was good. The movie did a good job. It was
Yeah.
good showing the intensity of it. But I
It's
was-
hard to tell what's happening, like even visually.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
Yeah, there was
it's
so
I
much
agree.
like everything was like flashing,
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
red,
It's
white.
like going black and
Yeah.
like you can't really. There were times I was like, "What?
Yeah,
whose
like-
body part
yeah,
is that?"
it's a very
Yeah.
like strobe sequence.
I think they
You're-
did that so they can hide the CGI a little
Yeah,
bit more. So that
absolutely,
way-
for sure.
If you're gonna show Rock, which I'm like, okay, well, then go with the other original where he picks him up. That's less more of
Exactly.
CGI. But I was like, okay, I understand. It was and then you have that fear of like, is Rocky gonna die? That's where I paused listening, and I was just like, because like I paused when like Rocky comes out, and then Ryan's like, what are you doing? And he's like, save
Save
Earth,
Earth,
save
save
Earth.
Earth.
And I was just like, paused. I'm like, no.
You're like, I can't
Dude,
deal with this
I was
right
like,
now.
I was like, did Rocky just die?
Dude,
Like, no way.
When I read that, I threw the book across the room. Okay, I do that a lot. I threw the book across the room and I started sobbing because I was like, he's dead. Like because I was like, Rocky's my favorite character, and a big thing about me is like usually if I have a favorite character in anything, they die.
Aw.
It happens like a lot to the point that like it's a joke with,
Yeah.
with everyone I know. They're like, oh, like if I show my mom a new movie or something, she's like, who's your favorite character? They're gonna die. I'm like, okay, well I can't tell you because yes, they do.
Yeah.
So I was like, Rocky was my favorite. He's gonna die. And so yeah,
Aw.
I was heartbroken. I was like, I might not finish this book and ever see this movie.
And then like he almost kills him again because he tries to like with the black suit. He's like, oh, he probably has like ash on him. He can't breathe. So he's like, he creates this like little like heat gun, or whatever, and it blows him out. And then Rocky's like, did you blow that thing out? He's like, yeah. He's like, you almost killed me. He's like, what?
Like, actually, I needed that. That's like part of my healing process.
Yeah, like those were, he like ripped off the scabs on his body, basically.
And he's like, you almost killed me, dude. And he's like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm like,
poor Rocky's like, it's okay, but like, don't do that.
Like, I'm okay now, but could have been really bad.
Yeah, he's like, let's not do that one more time. Like, I was like, oh snap. I was like, dang, that was funny because like the way Rocky's like, oh, you almost killed me. He said, oh no,
you're lucky you didn't.
Yeah, it's like, but yeah, it was intense. And then we have the science stuff in the book where they're trying to figure out the Talmiba, how to evolve it. They have a moment before the Talmiba escapes. When they evolutionize it, it escapes the first time and it gets into the power cells.
Yeah.
The fuel cells, and it's like, oh snap, all the fuels is gone. And then Rocky's like, well, it's on my ship. We can go move it over my ship.
Yeah.
That part was intense because like I was like, oh, they're figuring it out, and then it's like emergency power off, and I was like, what's happening? What's going on? What's going on? And it's like, oh, the Talmiba escaped and it's eating up all the astrophage everywhere. And I was like, oh snap.
Yeah.
So that was cool. I wish they added that in the movie a little bit more intensity.
Everything about the Talmiba was really skipped through very quickly in the movie.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a minute of a quick scene where Ryland's like talking to the camera and he's just like, now we have the Talmiba. We are going to farm it. And now I have enough to send back to Earth with me for whatever.
Yeah.
Yep. But like there's so much problem solving in the book that takes both of them to even figure out how to breed it. A lot of that's happening while Rocky's still like kind of in his coma recovery form or whatever. So you like don't see the struggle of like really finding a predator and being able to successfully like take that back home too.
And they don't talk about the Beatles as much either.
No.
That's why I'm like, that's how like
bring it up
we have a fun fact.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know if you've heard this.
No.
But I heard Andy Weir was talking about this on one of his podcasts. He said that in the book, he hid Easter eggs for all of the titles of the Beatles, as in like the band, for all of their main like 13 albums. He hid the titles for them in the text. And sometimes it's like phonetically different from what the literal like title of the album is. So like Maralisa found some. And
let me try and find it on my Reddit.
Examples. But it's crazy. He like added them all in just throughout the book, like as a fun little.
So they're just titles like is it like a word search kind of thing where I have to look through the book and.
I mean, almost like I had no idea because he blends it into like conversation and just like different dialogue and all kinds of stuff, and so you don't notice it unless you're looking for it. I had no idea, but because the Beatles are like just a fun little theme for the book.
Really? So like Ticket to Ride somewhere in there, but it's like mixed in with like something like, oh, we have to get the ticket and blah blah. Nor to ride or something like
kind of.
Interesting. Wow, kudos to you, Andy. Yeah,
I know.
I am sad though in the movie they didn't explain about that towards like the end. It's like, all right, they send like these little Beatles, and you're like, if you're watching the movie, you're like, okay, what does that have to do? But like in the book, it's like they created the drone Beatles as a way to be like, hey, this is how you're gonna send back information because. You're not coming back. You're not coming back. So this is the way you can send them back.
Yeah.
And then they also use like some of the fuel to help with the Talmiba. They took one of them out because like we need more fuel. We need to figure it out. So they don't explain that in the movie as well.
Yeah.
So I was
like, you really don't see the scope of their challenges as much in the movie, which I think like. That part I'm fine with because I do think you need to make the movie accessible for people to watch who don't have like science background period, but also like the science that you're creating for this universe.
Right, yeah.
So like it does need to be easy to watch and understand. And in that way, that's where like the movie does do it very well and it doesn't like sacrifice story really for that. But the book is just so much more rich when you do have all of that and you understand like the conflict and the tension and all of their problem solving a lot more. Like you appreciate it more with them then too and like celebrate their wins more and stuff.
Okay. Definitely. Yeah. That's interesting. I like that little Easter egg that they did.
Yeah, right.
I found one. So I don't know anything about Beatles albums, but there's one called Magical Mystery Tour.
Oh.
And so the way it's said is like you're not magical, and then someone says Mr. E, and then the next person says Torch. So it sounds like Magical Mystery Tour.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it's like you have to look for it really
wow.
well.
That's a fun little Easter egg.
That's what I would do if I was a writer. I'd be like, I'm going to put all the Killers albums in this.
Yeah,
For no reason.
a lot of stuff that was missed. Obviously, again, with the book, you can't fit everything in. Otherwise, you'll have like a 14-hour movie or whatever.
Which I would
We
love.
would watch it.
I
though.
would literally watch that. I think I heard that like the original, like when they first finished it, it was like 4.5 or 5 hours.
Really?
And then the director showed it to people and they were like, you can't put this on in theaters. It has to be shorter. They're like, what do you mean? Like,
Why? Just put it on.
and then so everybody, a lot of people on like Twitter are like, maybe like put it out for the fans or
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
like we'll buy it if you like put out the 4.5
Yeah.
hour one. I will watch. I watch Lord of the Rings marathons. Like I
There
can
you
do
go.
that.
Yeah, true.
Period.
Yeah, I wonder if like 10, 20 years from now it gets rebooted as a series.
Oh.
And then you like take your time
They're
there.
gonna Harry
I don't
Potter it.
know.
They're gonna Harry
Harry
Potter.
Potter
Maybe.
Project Hail Mary.
The
That's
Harry
the
Potter
theme
Project
now.
Hail Mary.
I don't know.
Make
Let's do
a
it.
TV show out of it.
Oh.
I mean, it's just one book though. That's the thing. It's
Yeah.
interesting for sure. Okay, so we're kind of getting towards the end of the book here and the movie. We have the escape of the Talmiba. They evolved it so much that it can now go through Xenonite. And then you have that scene where Ryan Grace is like, Rocky gave me his fuel so I can go back home. He's gonna save me. It's gonna take me 11 years to get back home. All right, cool. They parted ways. Oh, when they parted ways in the book, I was like tearing up. I was
Yeah.
like, I was like,
Yeah.
it's like
Book
that-
and movie. I think
Yeah.
I think both of those scenes were perfect.
Oh,
Like,
they were
book
good. Yeah,
and
I was
movie.
tearing up on both. I was just like, oh, that's his best friend.
Yeah.
They're
That's
never
the
gonna
end.
see each other ever again.
Yeah.
But they both saved it. And then we have one final conflict where Talmiba escaped, and Ryan's like, all right, what am I doing? I have enough fuel to get back home, but Rocky's by himself and he's stranded. What is he gonna do? And I like it where he's like, hang on, buddy, I'm coming. I'm like,
Dude,
It's
there was a point where like the way he writes it in the book
Yeah.
makes it seem for a second
Yes.
that he's like, sorry, Rocky, there's nothing I can do. And I was like, I will find
Yeah.
the author of this.
No,
book.
it literally is
I
like
will
I think
kill
one
him.
chapter ends. He's like, okay, I either go home or I save Rocky. Wow, what a big decision.
Yeah.
And then the next one starts, and he's like, sorry, Rocky,
He's like
it's
watching
not
the
going to work
Beatles
out.
leave,
Yeah.
and he's like, well, all right, like heading out. I'm like, what do you mean?
Yeah, it was
What are
like
you talking
it was a little bit of trickery though,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it's like he's talking about like something else, and
Yeah.
then you find that he changed his course to
So
go
save Rocky, save his
Save
best
Rocky.
friend. He
But-
which is a huge decision to make.
Well, it's what I found really interesting. Like I'm doing a reread. I'm doing the audiobook now
Yeah.
for Project Hail Mary because I'm insane. And like I forgot that in the book they really make it like very clear that with Ryland's decision, he knows he's going to die by
Yeah.
going to save Rocky. I feel
Yeah.
like the movie doesn't fully explain that because like the book. He's thinking like I'm gonna run out of food,
Yeah.
like, and
Yeah.
I can't eat Rocky's food, so
Yeah.
I making this decision. I'm going to die. Like
Yeah.
I don't know if the Iridians can make me food.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna get diseases and all this stuff. So he has this like. He still has that threat of he doesn't know about like that they're gonna make him like a little biodome and
Yeah,
give him
yeah.
all the food that they
Yeah.
that he
he's just
needs.
assuming he can't
burgers.
survive on their planet
Yeah.
and in their atmosphere at all. So like
Yeah.
he goes to save Rocky, and then that's pretty much it.
He's
for
like, I'm just gonna
him.
float up in here in space. and
Yeah.
just
Yeah, he's
die.
like, listen, I'm here
Yeah.
to help you, but like
That's it.
I don't know if we're gonna
Yeah.
if I'm gonna be able to make it. And Rocky's like, that's not gonna happen.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
like,
like,
I'm
he's
gonna
not
save
gonna
you.
let
We're gonna
him.
save you. Don't worry.
But
So
I do
beautiful.
think Ryland having that moment to get to choose to risk his life for like the sake of like not just Rocky but all of the Iridians at that point for their survival is like such a beautiful way to I don't know, like for him to get to have his moment that he didn't have with Earth. Because
Yeah.
and you see it in the movie when he realizes that he was sent up against his will, he's like, well, I'm not even like the person and the hero that I thought I was anymore. Like I'm
Yeah.
a coward. So for him to get the opportunity to then like change that part of his story and like get to make a sacrifice, like
Yeah.
is so beautiful.
I think the movie showed a good like depiction of like this, not the struggle, but like his decision making. Like when it shows him and it's like the red and black and like the grainy, and he's just like looking down, like he's like, I don't have enough fuel to save, so he's like trying to figure out what to do. I thought it was a great like depiction of like showing him like struggling, like okay, like
Yeah.
do I just go home or do what do I, so but I'm glad he chose
Yeah.
the right course.
Yeah.
He
One
did
of
that.
my favorite like visual moments of that scene is when he takes the whiteboard where he was writing all of his past
Oh, yeah.
and he erases it so that he can write down like how long it's going to take him to find Rocky. I think that's
That's
just such a
true.
beautiful moment of showing like how much he's sacrificing himself. He's like, I don't care about myself
Yeah.
anymore. Who am I going to be brave for? I'm going to be
That's
brave
true.
for
Yeah.
Rocky.
Yes.
I'm going to get emotional.
I know, yeah. He saves Rocky, and Rocky's like, it's okay. now you can say, and thank you so much for saving us. Now we can save Earth. He's like, I'm not going home, bud. Like, I'm sorry, dude. Like, I'm here. He's like, we'll figure it out, whatever.
Yeah.
And then, they figured,
They do.
They figured out. They give him the me burgers.
The me burgers.
The me burgers.
I wish that I'd been in the movie.
Yes, the
He's a
me-
cannibal. He's a
Oh gosh. Okay, hold
He's
on.
eating himself, though.
himself.
So, and for those that are listening and watching, they're like, "What is he talking
God,
about?"
that
They haven't read the
sounds
book. They, Grace. They build him a dome for his environment in the planet of Rocky Smile, Ridney.
Arid.
Arid, and he's got this biome, and they figured out how to make meat out of his muscle. So they
Yeah.
took some muscle. And they replicated it and
Yeah,
made
they clone
burgers.
it.
They cloned it. So he's like, it's not cannibalism. It's just I'm eating myself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
He
weird
says
way
it's
to
delicious.
look at it, but you gotta do what you gotta do at
Yeah.
that point. I
Yeah, for
guess.
real. Like it's either that or death.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
or you
it's like,
die.
I'll eat a me burger.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
he calls them the me burgers. When I first read that, I'm like, me burgers? Like what? Or when I heard it, I'm like, me burger? What's a me burger?
Yeah.
And he explained it, I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
That's so good.
it was funny. It was So that's what me burger is.
Yeah.
So Riley and Grace ate some me burgers.
Yeah.
And then, so I mean, he gets to a point where he like technically has everything that he needs to live on Arid. And I know like we've talked a lot about the ending, and I think, okay, I would love to discuss. Like, do
Yes.
we all like individually think that he does or should not, whatever, like return to Earth now that he knows he can? Because it confirms by the end of the book and movie that like Earth is essentially saved. Like the sun is back to its normal, I don't know, shining abilities, whatever. So
Yeah.
like things are stabilized, it's fine. But you don't know what the state of the world is. So even though like, I guess that's the difference is in the book, Rocky tells Ryland, hey, your son's good. Like you're good
Yeah,
to
you're
go
fine, yeah.
home. And then in the movie, he's like, we fixed your ship or whatever.
Yeah,
yeah.
And like, we can send you back. But either way, like you're good
They
to
kinda-
go home if you want
In
to.
the movie, they kind of showed it where like it shows like the astrophage like kind of disappearing.
Yeah.
To kind of give you that sense like, oh,
Yeah.
they
It's cleared up.
It's
cleared
like
it.
Yeah.
a future scene because the book epilogue is kind of further in time where Ryland's older.
Yeah.
And he like has to use a cane because
Yeah,
the
the
weight
gravity.
of the gravity on Arid is different. So his muscles are like decaying a lot faster. But the movie's epilogue, well, when it's on Earth, that's like
future, yeah.
way into the future,
Yeah.
like 11-ish years, I guess maybe.
Strat looking old.
Yeah, she looks all old.
She's looking all old
Yeah.
and worn down. I think if we're book context, like there's no way he could have gone back. He's old. He's on a cane. Like I know
Yeah.
Rocky is like, we have the technology. We can send you back now. And he's like, I'm 55. It's gonna take me like 11, 12 years to get there. Like
Yeah.
I don't want. Or it's like 23 years. Like it'll take me like.
Well, I
23
think
years.
I
Yeah.
guess it would be different the years he's experiencing versus like how many Earth years are also passing.
Because of the what is it? Theory of relativity. Or I don't know what it's called. I don't remember.
Some actually.
I don't remember.
Yeah. So like I was like, it's fine. Part of me was like, I wish he would have gone back so that way he can be like, suck it, Strat.
I know,
But I'm like,
yeah.
by the time he gets back, Strat would probably be dead.
Honestly,
Like
yeah.
everyone he knew would be gone. 'Cause,
Yeah.
like he'd be old.
That's
Everyone would be
the
old.
thing that tripped me up because I feel like the whole time I was reading the book, I was hoping that he would be able to find his way back because I feel like I don't know. There's always a sense of like you always find your way back home, and
Yeah.
like that's
Okay,
kind of
Hannah Montana reference.
I wasn't gonna mention it, but like that's kind of like the goal that you want to see for people. Like
Yeah.
that helps like feel like it came full circle. So I think even to the point where you see him alive on Arid, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, maybe. But then if you think about like, yeah, what he and him, like his body physically has been through already, like he might not survive the journey. It's a risk to even try to go back. Logistically, like you don't know what you're getting into when you go back to Earth. Like because this whole situation probably caused like famine and wars and all kinds of like
Yeah.
cultural issues.
Yeah.
You don't know what the state of the world is, even if it is like safe to live in now.
Yeah.
Everyone you know is probably dead or is like really old or something. But then
Yeah.
I think we were talking about how like, well, do you go back at the very end of your life to be a hero and to like get your big heroic moment? Like, is
Yeah.
it worth that still? I don't know. I don't mind him staying on Arid. I think I've really
Yeah.
come to terms with that.
And also like it's like we think about like you can always go back, but I'm like, bro, that's gonna take another 20 years.
Yeah.
Like you're not 20 years on the ship and going back. That's,
like that sounds miserable too
Yeah,
because
it's
he
like-
can't put himself in another coma.
Yeah,
you have
so
to
it's like-
experience that time.
I think they do a good job. The book does a really great job of like explaining like, oh, I could go back, and it's like, no, it's gonna take a long time. It's gonna take 11 years. A lot of books and stuff, it's like, yeah, we'll just make the trip back, and then like Project Hail Mary's like, realistically, no, you're not going
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna take you a long time to
Yeah.
get back because of how far space,
Yeah.
you know,
like you
expands.
don't know if you're gonna make it. It might not
Yeah,
be worth
exactly.
trying.
So I'm happy with him.
Yeah.
You know, going back. I wish what I liked about the movie was like his video diaries, making it back to Strat, and Strat's
Yeah.
like, you know, if I don't see you again, you know, whatever, and like, does a little goodbye with the.
Yeah.
I wish he would have been like this and be like, "Suck it, Strat," or something like something
my
like
gosh.
some like last minute thing. I
He
wish.
kind of does.
a
Like,
little.
He does technically being like, listen, like, because, like, not to be a Strat apologist, but, like, she was right to send
Yeah.
him because
She
he
was,
did
yeah.
save everyone.
And I think he realizes that though too.
Yeah.
Like he's come to terms with it. He understands her
Yeah.
decision. I don't think he hates her, like resents her anymore.
But
maybe
I also
for
think
it.
he can. Like,
Sure.
he can acknowledge that what she did was wrong because it is. Like, you shouldn't send people to where they don't want to go.
Yeah,
Like, that's
yeah,
not
true.
okay. But at the same time, it's like you don't have to forgive her, but you know, what she did was right.
understands,
Like he
yeah.
can know, like,
Yeah.
yeah, she was right to send me, but like I still hate you a little
Yeah,
bit. Like
yeah,
you can do
true.
that.
Yeah.
I do like, but I do like how they sent the video diaries back, and he's like, "All right, well, see you later. If I don't see you, see you later."
Yeah.
Captain Ryland.
And she does it. She does a little thing too. I
Yeah.
noticed that in the second viewing. The first viewing, I was like, okay, but then the second viewing, she's like, does a
Yeah,
little like
that's
that little
She
hand
doesn't
gesture.
do it like that. She's happy.
She's like,
happy to
but
see
no, but like
him.
she does it subtly. Like she does it
Yeah.
like subtly. And I was just like, oh, I didn't catch that in the first
Yeah.
time. Like that's pretty cool. She
Yeah.
does a little like arm thing, whatever.
Did you notice the tattoo on her neck also?
No,
No,
what?
she had a tattoo.
So in the okay, I thought you guys knew.
no,
So
what?
the book mentions she mentions that she's probably going to be sent to prison after Hail Mary
yes.
takes off.
Yeah.
And so in the movie they give her a specific tattoo on a neck that is meant to showcase that someone was in prison for life, but then there's a slash through it to indicate that they let her go
Oh,
because
really?
once the Beatles came back, she would be in charge of the project then from because it was
okay.
part of her project.
Yeah,
So
save
it's
her.
implied that she did go to prison and seemingly for life, but then because of Ryland bringing the stuff back, she was released.
Like,
Yeah.
Oh, well, Ryland the hero, man.
Fun
Yeah,
fact.
truly.
Come on.
He's a cute-
And he saved her.
Yeah.
Well,
True.
I
So
was going to
there-
say she didn't save him. Anyway,
Yeah.
she sent him to die and he saved her. And that's why he's a good person.
They got lucky.
But he found a best friend. He found Rocky. He found
Yes.
Rocky, and he lived his life. And then he has a class now. He has
Yeah.
a class.
Such a good,
So- and that's what's-
beautiful moment.
Yeah, like he still gets to live a fulfilling life there, like contributing to something and like doing what he loves.
Yes. 12 little hands rose their hands.
Dude.
Rose their hands.
Dude.
That was
Love it.
a beautiful ending. I was like,
I think
that
that's
was-
the literal last line, right?
It is,
Yeah,
yeah.
12 claws raise their
12
hands.
closet,
Yeah.
which I
So
like.
good.
I like that better than the movie prediction because the way they portrayed the movie was I liked it cool, but it was more like too over the top for me, in my opinion.
Oh,
because they showed like
there's
the
like
whole,
a dolphin noise.
yeah, they're all celebrating. And I was like, okay. And the
Vic,
book
let
was
me tell
more
you.
like,
Let me tell you. As someone who substitute teaches, that's what it's like.
That's what it's like.
That's exactly what it's like. Yeah.
so they got it right.
Yeah,
so,
they did.
So I would
They're
just
not like meh. They're like ah.
yeah,
So-
jumping around. So I thought that was. I like both. I like both
Yeah.
endings, but I prefer the book ending for sure. And
Of course.
ah man, what a!
I do like how in the movie though so in the last scene where Ryland and Rocky are talking to each other, they use the subtitles there instead of the
Yes,
voice for
yeah.
Rocky. Because I was curious how they were going to approach that in the movie in general. In the book, Ryland does learn Rocky's language very quickly,
Oh,
like
yeah.
just through memory.
Yeah.
While like Rocky understands the language immediately, just because his I don't know, his brain or whatever
Yeah.
like
He's smart, man.
understands
So
that
smart.
and internalizes information so much differently than humans. So Rocky just like immediately knows, and then Ryland's using his program to track the language, but he does say like it's coming to me more naturally, and like I do just kind of understand him. And so it made sense for the movie to give Rocky a programmed voice, but then
Yeah.
I like that by the end in the epilogue
It's
scene,
the
you still
subtitles.
see
Yeah.
that like he has internalized the language.
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure. I thought it was beautiful. Yeah.
I will say I liked how in the book, throughout the whole book, his voice is stilted the way that it is in the movie, where he's just like, Rocky, not do this, Rocky, do that.
Yeah.
But then in the epilogue, it's much more,
more
more
fluent,
fluid
yeah.
because he is fully
Figured out.
fluent
Yeah.
in the Iridian language. So
Yeah.
I like that, and I wish that they had done that in
Yeah.
the movie. because I feel like that was just a great way to show just how far Ryland has come in like his Iridian knowledge,
Yes.
you know?
Yes, I remember that. Yeah, because reading it, I'm like, whoa, Rocky, whoa.
Yeah, like
What's
he's
the
talking,
language,
he's like,
my guy?
yeah,
What's
he
the language, my-
curses.
Like, he's
It's
all
so
cursing,
good.
and I'm like, whoa, bro,
Yeah.
what the heck?
So good.
He's all throwing like he's
Yeah.
throwing shade over here. I'm like,
Yeah.
dang, Rocky.
That's Rocky.
I love that. Yeah, I love that part. Yeah, in the book, in the movie, it's like just like subtitled and like kind of so brokenish. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Because that's the way they're literally translating
Yeah.
the language like through the computer
For sure.
program.
But man, Project Hail Mary.
What a phenomenal.
It's great.
What?
Wait,
a-
I have a question.
Go ahead. Oh, ask
well,
away. Ask away.
what was your guys' favorite scene? Either book or movie?
Ooh,
Favorite of all time?
of all time.
Go.
Movie scene is the fishing scene.
Okay.
That's my favorite. I thought it was well done. That or the when they're getting the harvesting the Talmiba and you see he's like, "Oh, I'm having a moment."
Yes.
And he's like, "When do you know it's
good.
over? Is it over now?" And he's like, "No."
Oh,
Yeah.
the hug.
Yeah. So I thought that was a great moment. In the book, my favorite moment in the book was when they celebrate and they're having, and he breaks open the vodka and they're like
Yeah.
celebrating because they figured out stuff like that. So I thought that was a great moment for sure. I'll tell you my least favorite moment.
Oh, sure.
My least favorite moment in the movie.
Anytime with Strat.
Even Strat was there.
Sign of the
My least favorite
times.
moment was when he goes on the ship, on Rocky's ship.
Really?
You didn't
I didn't like that because I was like,
Wow.
he doesn't do that. Like,
But I think it's nice. He wanted to.
then in the book it made it like really obvious, like, no, you can't because you're gonna die.
Yeah,
You're not
of
gonna make
course,
it.
yeah.
And then the suit he's in, I was like,
The suit is a little silly. Yeah.
I'm like, what is this, Minecraft? What is going on?
Oh, yeah.
like Minecraft. Like, I was
Yeah.
like, oh man.
Okay.
That was my least favorite, in my
yeah.
opinion. I didn't like
I do
that.
think we didn't need it.
I didn't think because it kept the mystery, like you
Yeah.
know. And then I liked in the book because in the book he's like, Rocky, can I go on your ship? He's like, no, you'll die.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, you're right.
Yeah,
I'll
he
die.
gets like annoyed
He's
about
like, he's
that.
like, you're right.
You
I
can
will
come on my
die.
ship
but-
all
It's
you
not
want, and I can't go
fair.
see yours.
Yeah, he's like,
Yeah.
oh, he's like
Cute.
so mad. And he's like, he's right though. I will die. Like, oh
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
So that was my least favorite. But my favorite, those were my favorite moments in the book and then the movie. What about yours here?
Dang, I don't know. I feel like in the movie, most of my favorite scenes were like the funny, quippy moments because that did feel like the most different. Like obviously the Rocky hate Mark is an incredible
Yeah.
line.
I love that part.
That's so good. I love, okay, I guess both book and movie. I love when they figure out the Talmiba situation and they're like celebrating. They're like, okay, yay, we did it. Mission accomplished. And they wear their nice clothes. I love
Oh,
when
yes,
Rocky puts on
yes.
his special little outfit.
that's what
it's
I
so
enjoy, yeah.
cute.
That's what I liked
Yeah, I
about in
do
the
like
book. They're
that a lot.
celebrating. He's like, he's got his new
Yeah.
like gear on. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, like that made me happy. And then probably just also the epilogue too. I remember I was finishing the book the day of like when I was going to go
Wasn't
watch
it like
the
an hour
movie.
before?
A couple hours
Oh,
before. Like I was
gee.
finishing it at work and then I had to drive 2 hours down to OC to see the movie. And so I was, like finishing it in my edit bay at work and like making like almost whimpering noises, I think, as I'm like reading the epilogue and all my coworkers around me are like, what is
Look at you
happening?
like-
I'm like, I can't tell you. You just have to wait and find out. Yeah, it's so good.
What about you, Marlisa?
Yeah.
I think movie wise, my favorite scene is when Ryland takes off his helmet in the tunnel.
Oh, yeah.
And like that moment of trust with Rocky
Yeah.
and like just how Ryan Gosling like acts that scene out because that's not in the book. Like in the
Yeah.
book, I think he like does his own scientific things and he's like, oh, there's air in here.
Yeah.
But in the movie, like the gasps that he makes of like because Ryland is such a character that like he doesn't trust people. Like he doesn't bring people in. And that's
Yeah.
like the biggest thing that he has to like kind of, one of the biggest things he has to let go of.
Yeah.
And so I think that scene is just such a great way to show how he is starting to trust this little rock creature.
Yeah.
Like it's just so sweet. I love that part. And then like book wise, I don't know why, but I just died laughing at the part. It's like not even Rocky isn't even there yet. It's like Ryland's like looking at all the stuff on the ship and he sees the beetle part and it's like just labeled beetles. And then the book says something like, okay, I have to stop everything right now and see if there's any beetles on this
Yeah.
ship.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
just something a guy needs to
Yeah.
know.
Oh, yeah.
I just thought that was so funny. So like
true.
that's my favorite like funny moment from the book. And then I don't know. I guess like the fishing scene is just so good. I really like the karaoke scene though. I like that. I'm a Ryland Strat girl. Like
You're gonna start
I see
writing
it.
your own fan
I've
fiction.
fanfic right
I've
here.
read the fan fiction. I wanted to bring that up, but
Oh my goodness.
That's a separate episode.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
There's some like really sad like fan fictions though.
Really?
Really, really sad. Yeah.
Interesting.
People just make it even
my
more
goodness.
depressing.
No,
Great.
no.
But I like it. I love sad stuff. I'm like, yes, give it to me.
Of course.
But yeah, those are my favorite scenes.
Okay, interesting. Yeah. Overall, phenomenal movie.
great.
Phenomenal book. It's actually the second movie book adaptation that I've seen where I've read the book before I've seen the movie.
Was the other one Twilight?
No. Oh wait, never mind. Third. Third. Yeah, you're right. Twilight. Yes. The first one was Hobbit. I read the Hobbit. So I read the Hobbit because I knew the movie was coming out, and I'm like, well, I've already seen the Lord of the Rings movies. I don't want to read the books,
Yeah.
but I'm
Come
reading.
on.
I'm reading them now. I'm reading them
Nice.
now, and I'm loving them. But the Hobbit was coming out, and I'm like, I guess I should read the book. So I read the book, and I read it through before the movie came out, and then I went to go watch the movie, and I was like, cool. And I'm like, wait, there's 3 of them.
Yeah.
Like this is only one book.
It's one book.
It's just one book. Why
Yeah.
are we making 3?
And it's a children's book. Like,
Yeah.
what are we doing?
So I was like, what's going on here? What's happening? So that's the only one. And then Twilight. Yes, Twilight was one. And then, Project Hail Mary would be the third
Nice.
one. So, and then I guess maybe now the 4th one's going to be Dune.
Oh.
Because part 3 is coming out.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
I just finished the first book. So I need to read
Nice.
Dune Messiah. So that's what part 3 is based
Yeah.
off. So I'm going to get on that one. But I'm on this big Brandon Sanderson trip right now.
Yeah.
Reading
Oh, yeah.
Mistborn. I love Mistborn. So
Oh,
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
it's a good book.
solid.
I tried.
You don't like it?
I loved the first one. We don't want to get into this
Yeah.
right now, but let's just say I liked it a lot. I think
Okay.
that I would have liked it a lot more if I was younger.
Oh, okay, got you.
Like, not to
Yeah.
diss anyone who. It's not that I say that I
Yeah.
think they're childish. It's just that like it's the girl character. I would have been obsessed with her if I was like
Vin.
14.
Yeah.
Okay,
I like it. Yeah, that's another topic. That's another.
He's a great author. Love Brandon.
But in
Yeah.
general, the book to movie adaptations
Yes.
are always going to be a little disappointing. That's just a part of it. But you have to like separate the adaptation.
All right, Harry
for what
Potter,
it is.
relax,
No,
Harry Potter.
literally, because I did this in the middle of my like finishing my Harry Potter saga,
Yeah.
which was all book to movie, like for me experiencing it. And so I like at the end of my Letterboxd review for the first time I watched Project Hail Mary, I was like, oh, I'm just like so disappointed by all of these like book to
Oh,
movie
my
adaptations right now
goodness.
because it just like doesn't hit the same. It's
doesn't.
such a different
It
type of
doesn't.
world building.
Yeah, I agree.
But this like the movie does work so well for what it is,
Yeah.
like as a standalone piece too.
For sure.
So
I agree. Yeah,
love and appreciate it.
definitely. Yes, Andy Weir. Thank you so much for this book. Thank you so much
Thanks,
for
Andy.
thank you for creating a
making
great
this
book.
so
And then remind the directors again for the movie.
Phil Lord and Chris Miller.
Thank you so much for making a great movie. Amazon is an Amazon movie, so it's crazy. Amazon Video movie. I was like, oh snap! When I saw that in the theater, I was like, Amazon. What?
Yup.
Oh
Yeah,
snap!
kinda
Okay.
crazy.
They're doing
So
good.
great job, guys. If you guys have not seen it and you're watch this or listen to this episode, sorry if we spoiled it for
Yeah,
you
you
guys.
shouldn't have
We gave
listened.
you a spoiler. We gave you a spoiler in the beginning. So, but if you have seen it and or read the book, let us know in the comments below. What are your thoughts of it? What do you like? What did you
Drop a
dislike about?
comment.
Yeah, leave a like below.
Drop a com on the pod.
Yeah, there you go.
Below.
Leave it down there. Let us know what you liked. Did we miss it? I mean, we missed a lot, but
Yeah, totally.
you know, it's hard to cover the whole thing in
We
under
didn't even
like.
talk about the fan fictions.
Yeah, the fan. Yeah, there's so much. That's like a part 2 coming
Rylan
through.
and Rocky
There's so much
shipping.
more.
Wait, what?
No,
What?
no,
No. Oh my
We're
god.
done.
I've seen it.
Cut it there.
I've
we're
seen
gonna
it
cut the
and
pod here.
I've seen it and I support.
Oh my gosh, freaking
Absolutely
Maralisa
not.
over
Absolutely
here.
not.
They're best buds. Okay, we're gonna leave it
They
at that.
are. Yes, they are.
They're best
platonic.
friends.
Love them.
But if you stuck around at the end of this pod, thank you so much for listening. You can find us at all social. We're going to do some plugins here. You can find us at X, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, wherever you like to watch or listen podcasts. We're at Games You Must Pod. That is Games You Must Pod. You can find us, or you can email us at gamesyoumustpod@gmail.com. That is gamesyoumustpod@gmail.com. Is there anything you want us to review? Board games, video games, books you want us to review, anything else, let us know. This is our first actual like book review that we've done, book movie review. So
You're a book podcaster now.
I know I'm a book podcast now. I'm in there now. I've accomplished my goal of being well-rounded podcast now. So I'd love to do some more. We'll do some more. Definitely, we got to start our own little pod book club here now. And
Absolutely.
Start talking some more books because I really do. I'm an Audible listener. Sorry guys, I'm not an actual reader, but I don't have time.
fine.
So I mean,
It's different.
I feel like we're still getting the same story regardless.
Yeah,
You
So-
absolutely are.
So-
I'm like, yeah, Audible is totally fine.
Yes. So there you go. So if you don't like it, you can fight me, I guess.
Oh my gosh.
In the comments. In the
Here's his
comments.
address.
In the comments.
All right, the address will be in the comments below.
Find me in the comments. Find me in the comments. There we go. But yeah, find us there. Please like and subscribe to the pod. Grow the algorithm. Grow the Nerd Familia, guys. If you want to see more content like this or more board gaming content, or video game content, please let us know. And yeah, we'd love to have you guys. Thank you guys so much for listening. Sierra, Maralisa, thank you so much for joining us here. Rocky, Broken Rocky, thank you so much for
Fist my bump.
Fist my bump, guys. Yes, fist my
my
bump. There you go. Yes. Amaze, amaze, amaze.
Amaze, amaze, amaze.
Guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Y nos vemos para la próxima.